Oh, Robert, do you agree with Kash Patel that Biden will step down before November, October surprise? Harris becomes president and pardons Hunter as part of the agreement for Barnes. Well,
I mean, that's a good transition to Hunter Biden. As predicted, there was no way they were going to let that case go to a jury trial.
okay. So I'm not. I have to back it up because I sort of forgot when I learned, if I remember, that he was charged with the tax issue. Because at first he wasn't. He was charged with only with the gun issue, and the argument was that they're not going to charge him with the tax issue because that would reveal, potentially get into a lot of family Biden crime stuff. I forget when he got charged.
He did not long after that in California.
Okay. Then he gets charged, and then he pleads not guilty, which I remember we were saying at the time, I was like, do better plead guilty because then you avoid a trial. He says, I'm pleading not guilty, going to trial. A lot has changed since then. Biden withdrew from the race, so I guess there's a lot less of a political incentive to, I don't know, to like go through with the trial.
I think they timed it so there never would be a trial on the tax case, and sentencing would occur after Election Day. I think the example was to say, hey, see, look at how impartial we are. We're not prosecuting Trump for political reasons. We're even prosecuting the president's son. But they were never going to go forward with actual trial that exposed all the evidence that would implicate that in order to show the financial evidence of tax evasion, it would inevitably show all the foreign money flooding into Biden. And so that would be embarrassing to have peak election season. So the goal was do different tactics to delay the timing of these indictments so that the gun indictment goes first, that isn't that problematic for the family, and the tax indictment goes last. And once it gets close to trial, just cut a deal, but make sure sentencing is post election day. So there's never any embarrassing trial, not even an embarrassing sentencing report. And then after election day, Uncle Papa Joe can come in and issue the requisite pardons, which, by the way, he needs to do, even if he doesn't care at all about his son, which you can't rule out when it comes to Papa Joe. Because if Hunter was actually stuck with a 4 to 5 year prison sentence, which would be the norm for what he pled guilty to on the tax charges, by golly, he starts singing like a bird about a whole lot of people and places. And he'd either end up Epstein inside or a lot of high-ranking Democrats and deep state people would get tied in. So that's why Papa Joe's got to issue the pardon before Hunter serves a day in federal prison.
I like this idea that in order for it to be politically palatable so that it doesn't look totally corrupt, Biden has an issue, resigns, and then Kamala pardons Hunter. And so it's not, what's the word when a father, nepotism.
Yeah, but then if you're Papa Joe, you got to trust Kamala to do the right thing. You know what I mean? So it's now, like I said, there's a lot of deep state people there tied in. But if you're Papa Joe, do you fully trust her to do that? I think he might step down to say, "Hey, look, I haven't got a black woman president. That's how great I am, Joe Biden." He's taken literally 48% of his presidential time has been vacation time. It's unbelievable. You can physically witness it right on the beach. He's setting a record for vacation time. He's like a no-show job in New Jersey. That the mob used to have that ties in with the unions. But putting that aside, I think the time. If I'm Biden, I don't know if I trust anybody else to issue the requisite pardons or commutations. My prediction is still the same, the one I made 2 years ago. He will pardon Trump at the same time to make it look apolitical. They see how I understand that we need to move past these problems. We need all these disputes. So I'm going to pardon everybody. Throw in maybe a Hillary Clinton pardon for kicks and giggles, but throw in a Donald Trump pardon with Hunter Biden, same time. Say, see, this just shows I'm an honest, honorable, stand-up guy, not a politically corrupt guy covering up for my family's crimes.
I'm just looking as you're talking, Robert. The predicted has a market. It says the market shall resolve to yes in the event that President Joe Biden resigns and permanently departs from the office of the presidency before the end dates listed below, that being January 20th, 2025. Temporary transfer powers.
I could see that and Harris would end up the 47th president.
Yeah, and it would screw up all the merch. I got yesterday. I got a Trump 47 hat.
Trump 48 instead.
Would you take that? Would you take those odds at 8 to 1?
Yeah, I would say the odds are at 4 to 1. But he's going to pardon first. But I think he does it after the election just for his boosting his ego, boosting his legacy. He's not going to step down if it looks like that means he was too old to be in president. That he won't do. But if he thinks he can step down by saying, see, I wanted an opportunity for a black woman to be president of the United States. That's one part of my legacy. Step down like for a month or something, like around Christmas Day or something. That I could see. I would assess that at 1 and 4. People are underestimating the size of Biden's ego because he got railroaded, but they had to get a medical problem here in Vegas, and then lock him away at his beach house for him to step back from the presidency. So I don't know if for a re-election, it'll take even more to get him to step down. Harris doesn't want to step down prior to election day or step in.
Yeah, then she's got to own a lot of the problems that he's built.
Yeah, she's pretending she doesn't know who's in the White House.
I'm also laughing because in our locals community, there's a good "Scream 2" meme, and it's the woman who was screaming during the inauguration. Okay, that's fascinating. I like the logic behind all of that. I mean, it's become such a joke that Biden is not president that it's almost a formality that he just leave. Like, okay, goodbye, go. And interesting, though, pardoning Trump and Hillary. That way, Trump, when he wins, no longer has to face the calls to jail Hillary in jail. Pardon himself. Kamala pardons Joe. All right, I might have to go make an investment on investment. Okay, I'm joking.